Hey, good morning, everybody. And this is Mr. Ainsworth, and I'm going to get into my third lesson here with you guys. And we're going to take a look at how to multiply numbers, two-digit numbers by using what's called factoring. Okay, so let's get right into it. We're not using traditional methods here. We're getting creative and learn how to do these things in our minds, okay, without the need of any pencil and paper and calculators here. So let me get right into it and show you guys what I'm talking about. Suppose that you have 25 times 16. All right. There are many people out there that can't do that in their head because it's not easy sometimes. But one thing you can do is you can take one of the numbers and factor it into a product of two other numbers so that multiplying the resulting numbers is a whole lot easier to do mentally. For example, I know that 25 is 5 times 5, and I know that 16 is 4 times 4. But if I factor the 16 and not the 25, notice something that happens here. 25 times 4 times 4. Now notice that I factored the 17 or the 16 as 4 times 4. The reason why is because I know what this is right here. I know 25 times 4 is kind of like 4 quarters, right? Or a dollar. Or what I'm saying is 100. Okay, 25 times 4 is 100. Most people know that. So if I see the number 25, it sure be nice to factor the other number as a product of 4 and something else. Or in this case, 16 is 4 times 4. So then you multiply left to right like you normally do. 25 times 4 is 100. And then you take that result, multiply by 4. That's easy. You get 400. That is a whole lot easier than figuring out 25 times 16 in your head. So choose a number to factor. All right. So the multiplication is a whole lot easier. Now it's not always 25, so let me show you a different one here. Suppose you have to multiply 50 times 14. All right, so 50 is a fairly easy number if you're multiplying it by 2 or multiples of 2. And I notice that 14 here is the same thing as 2 times 7, so I can change the problem and rewrite it, actually not change it, but rewrite it as 50 times the factors of 14. I know that 14 is the same thing as 2 times 7, so I'm going to rewrite it as its factors. So 50 times 2 times 7, where I rewrote the 14 as 2 times 7. The reason why is because I know what this is, and most people know that 50 times 2 is 100. And then the only thing you have to do is multiply it by 7. And that's easy to do too. 7 times 100 is 700. So factoring a number could make it extremely easy for you to handle, okay? As long as you get a little creative here. So let me show you a couple more examples just to hit home so you can see a variety, because most of the time 2 examples is not enough. Suppose that you have something like let's say I don't know, 75 times, let's say 12, okay? So on this one here, 75 times 12, that can be factored the following. I know that 75 is a multiple of 25 because you guys deal with money all the time. It's like 3/4 is 75 cents. So you should be able to see in your mind that 75 is actually 3 times 25. So I can start there and get a 25 because 25 is easy to deal with. 12 is the same thing as 3 times 4. Okay, so you got 3 times 4 there. So 3 times 4 there. Rearranging the numbers a little bit makes it easy. I see I'm just going to switch these two because the order of multiplication doesn't matter. So I'm going to rewrite it as 3 times 25 times 4. All right. Well, this obviously gives you 9, and this gives you 100. You got to multiply the results, and you get 900. When you get good at this, you can factor in your mind, regroup in your mind, and do all this part right here. You can do this mentally. Believe it or not, when you get good at the technique, you can do it mentally, these 2 steps, and then you go straight to your answer when you're done. Because I can visualize 3 times 4 in my head, and I can visualize this as 3 times 25. So visually in my mind, I could take 4 times 25 is 100. I got that extra 3 and 4, or I mean the 2 3's. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 100 is 900. Okay. Let me give you one more example here before you try it on your own. Okay, so let's take a look at a different case. Let's suppose that we have, I don't know, 125, let's say. All right, 125 times 4. Now, the number 125 should ring a bell. It's kind of like a $1.25 or a $1.25. All right, it takes 5 quarters to make a $1.25 or a $1.25. So you should see in your mind that this is actually 5 times 25. So let's go ahead and rewrite it that way. Okay, so I got 5 times, oops, 25. All right, there's my factorization of 125 times the 4. So choose what two numbers are easy to multiply first. And if you look closely here, 4 times 25, you know that is 100. So multiply out of order. Multiply out of order because it doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter in multiplication. All right, multiply the numbers that are easier to do in your head, which is 4 times 25, and then take that result and multiply it by 5, and you get 500. That's all you have to do. And you know that's true because if you multiply left to right using a previous technique that I showed you guys, 4, if I like previously, I taught how to multiply left to right using place value. This is the same thing as 4 times 100 plus 25. And distributing and multiplying both by 4, you get 400 plus 100, so you get 500 here. This is a previous technique that I showed you. Previous technique. I forgot. I think that was like lesson 2 or something like that. All right. Yeah, I think it was lesson 2. All right. So I'll put down L2 there, I think. Let me see. Yes, it was. Okay, so on this one here, I want you to use the new technique by factoring here. So factor a number to make it easier to multiply. Okay? That's all there is to it. So pass out the worksheets here and try it on your own. You have 10 examples. Each one should take you 30 to 60 seconds. So this is a 5 or 10 minute exercise. Okay? And make sure you do it the new way. Show your thinking on all your examples. And by that, I mean show this right here or this up here. And that way I know that you're using the correct technique. Okay, I'm not going to sign off any papers unless you show your thinking. And then after a while, when you get really, really good, well, then we'll do it all in our head. Okay, so give it your best shot. And then after you're done, the group should check all your work together. Groups of 3 and 4 in the classroom, if you're in the classroom setting. And make sure you're correct and the quality's good and you're learning the right way. All right, this is Mr. Ainsworth, and I'll see you in my next lesson. Bye-bye.